All right. So, lab, but we get to the bag. Okay, so this is the first. Where's my? There we go. All right, so this is the first class. I get to the bag 101. This is not streaming university. So let's get to it. Now, I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years. So what makes me qualified to teach, insight you on anything that's business or wealth related, right? Because what does BAG stand for? BAG stands for build wealth. Ooh, this is gonna be tight. From the actions you take. So from the actions you take and the goals you set today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Now, what is my goal for 2025 to 2026? My goal for 2025 to 2026 is, let's do it here, 15K to 20K by 2026. That's my goal. I say, Marcel, how you gonna do it? Check this out. There's a few ways you can actually do it. It's one of the courses that I have in my website and I have to offer you. It's called a wealth strategy course, right? So I go down the different layers and way you can accumulate wealth, get some extra cash in your pocket, get to a bag, right? It's not just one way, it's all ways, and whatever way gets you there, the best, the quickest, that's what you should get to. Now, for me, one of the wealth strategies, the vehicles that I love and like is the stock market, right? I have a long-term portfolio and I have a brokerage account that I trade out of, okay? The stock, when you hear about Apple, when you hear about Microsoft, when you hear about all those companies, Activision, EA, Activision owns Call of Duty for all the gamers out there. That's a publicly traded company. So every time Christmas comes around, every time Thanksgiving, Black Friday comes around, hey, that's how we get to the bag, right? Or that's how they get to the bag as far as the company, right? The stock goes up, especially when holiday season. So Walmart, probably Macy's, Activision, Microsoft because of Xbox. They stocks more than likely will see an increase because people buying games for the babies and so forth and so on, right? So that's how the companies get to the bag. How you get to the bag when we talk about the stock market. Let's go here. Let's start with Microsoft because I'm gonna do it from like where we at. We're just gonna do the examples for the times that we in right now, right? So if you were to start, I would tell you always to long-term invest because that's exactly what I did. I literally built a long-term portfolio way before I started trading. I've been trading for 2.5 years, going on 3. I've been an overall investor for 5. I've been an entrepreneur for 5. So when I say I've seen the actual market crash, but I was layered in so many other ventures, my money was tied up that I didn't stay focused on one vehicle. So even though I will talk to you and we'll do classes and we'll do insights on all the other vehicles, here's what I'm gonna tell you for getting to the bag 101. Focus on one vehicle that is going to get you to the bag that's going to change your life. Don't do nothing else. If you're doing entrepreneurship and you're doing a startup, focus on how to make your startup successful that can fund the life you want, and then you start getting into all the other ventures, right? So for most of my people, a lot of y'all do clothing brands, right? Start on seeing what makes your clothing brand unique. Watch Shark Tank. Damon John is literally on Shark Tank. He is the FUBU of our culture. When I talk to my people, when I talk to black people, like really sit down and watch those episodes. There's a lot of gems in there as far as how to effectively run your company, and when you want to grow and you go to investors, how to maintain control and ownership. One of the things that we can get into since we're here is the clip when Kai Cenat says, hey, yo, I turned down deals from Amazon, Tubi, all the like name brand Netflix, name brand networks that possibly were interested in the idea, right? His IP. IP, right? IP is intellectual property. Intellectual property. As an entrepreneur, it is very important for you to own your IP. So for me, Griffin Speaks LLC, I own that. I own the domain name. I own the LLC. That is my official business. And I am the CEO as Marcel or Marcellus Griffin. Marcel is short for Marcellus. So when you hear me say, Prince Marcel is getting to the bag, I am, right? Idealistically and figuratively, right? But IP, when we talk about streaming university, okay? This is a very important point for when we talk about like, well, Kai thought about all of you guys who got into streaming university. Because here's what could potentially happen if he went the brand deal route. Let's talk about it. He submits his idea to Netflix, Amazon, whoever, right, who wants to pick up the show, right? It's because it'll pretty much become a show. Who wants to pick up the IP? What'll happen is now he may or may not contain ownership of the whole entity, right? So now what they call, like, it'll be streamlined and it'll be easier because he's using other people's money, right? Other people's money. Yeah, OPM. So yes, Netflix will more than likely give him a lump sum and he'll have what they call like creative control, which might be written in his contract. Whole nine. But he won't have ownership. So revenue will be split, money be cut. The creators that come on may not even own their IP or brand names if he decided to agree that, because now they're saying, well, this is going on our platforms, we want to own everything. Let me break it down to you. So, in neighborhood terms, it go like this. Bro, you want to come and you want to set up shop in my neighborhood, in my zip code? Cool. I'm fine with that. But I get all the money that circulates here. So, you can keep the name that you want. You can make the colors. You can make the design. You do whatever it is you want. But because you in my zip code, you in my neighborhood, it's probably going to be like a 60-40. Because I'm giving you the block space that I own, right? I'm giving you the land that I own figuratively to set up here. So what does that mean? I get 60% of everything that come out your shop. You keep 40%. Now, why would I do that if I was the business owner? Well, let's break this down a little deeper on why certain people or businesses consider this, right? Let's say the zip code that I'm thinking about setting up shop in are the main consumers of my product, right? I'm going to go there because it's the first thing that came off the dome. Let's say I was selling weed. That lets you know where I come from. Let's say I was selling weed, shorty. Or I was selling, let's say I was selling, I opened up a smoke shop. Let's go there for the guys. Let's say I was selling weed for the girls, I opened up a smoke shop for the guys, right? I know that the people in this zip code, they smokers, and they ladies is weave or beauty shoppers. The amount of money I projected to pull up out this hood, this neighborhood, it's hand over fist. I'm expecting to make 100K my first year out, and it only took me 40 to start it up. So even if I gotta give you, 30 out of the 100K and 40, I still got profit. So that's where, when it comes to like brand deals and partnering up with Amazon and doing big collaborations and stuff like that, business owners consider it, because I still come out on top. I ain't in the red. I ain't lost no bread. I'm straight. But when it comes to, I can't keep, all my house's money, that's where, that decisions come into play, and it be like, well, what we doing? So, and I went a lot of places, but that's when we talk about like why Casanat was like, no, I want to keep my intellectual property. And this is a good thing that he decided to do that, because this is the first venture, right? So now he sees what this could be, what could be improved. Like all y'all that, hey, if you feel that it should have been more educational, which I agree with as a teacher, as an instructor, I 100% agree with that. I think there should be more details if you're going to actually call it a university and put more into the class for real. Because I personally, probably India Love and Agent Zeros was the most important class. Because India Love hit on the, what can happen when you get the fame and people start loving on you and pulling on you in so many different directions. Who may want you just for your bread, or who may like really be rocking with you. You got to disseminate that. And then when Agent Zero, when he started talking to you about like the money that you're going to be making. Now for me, what is my streaming class going to be about? Whatever your avenue is, when you start getting to the bag, BAG, building wealth from the actions you take, from the goals that you set, and the career that you're making out here in this world, what you going to do with that pot of money? Because a lot of people in my neighborhoods and the people who look like me, when they get that pot of money, they go off to the fences and, they start looking like hunters. But, where we gonna go? So, let's say you got $1 million today, right? What would I break $1 million into 4 quarters with? $250K in the stock market. $250 in real estate. And today market, $250 in real estate is like one building, bro. Hey, if you could find you a commercial complex for $250 on my mama, let me know. But right, so real estate, $250. Where else would I go? Yeah, $250 in a startup. Another $250 in a startup. So what would be a startup for me that I would do? Gas stations. I would do a gas station. Or I would do like however many gas stations I could get, because you can franchise some gas stations, but I would do a gas station. I would do a gas station for that $250. And then the last one, right? So stock market, real estate, startup. But the last $250 actually is probably what I would live off of. This would be my living expenses. And the reason why I would say you live off this 250 because let's say this all happened in like one span, right? Let's say 250 in the stock market, 250 in the real estate, 250 in the startup. That first year or two, you may or may not see profit. It probably won't be turnkey, right? Turnkey is a term that they use in real estate to where like if I walk into the building, everything is furnished, everything's new appliances, everything's fixed. That's a turnkey term. Um, but I ain't gotta do nothing. It's straight. I'm coming in the door, hand on fist. Most of the time, most of these things won't be like that outside of you can say the market can, but you won't see immediate growth if you don't have a good financial advisor and accountant, or if you're not an overall investor, right? So, stock market wise, me is VOO, Microsoft, Nvidia, and VOO, Microsoft, Nvidia. What would be my fourth one? Google. Now it's very concentrated. So let me say this. It's going to sound very, very concentrated. And I'm giving you a lot in this first class. This is 101. I'm bringing you into the world of what my streams is going to be like. Because I want you to be a wealthy warrior, right? I don't call myself Prince Marcel for any reason. And it's really for you to understand, like, yes, I hold myself to a high standard. I hold myself as king, as a royal, so forth and so on. But I also need to know what to do with my wealth, with my goal, with my money. Concentrated. That's where I was. Concentrated versus diversity. When I first started out investing, my entire portfolio, long term, when we got to trading, I probably would do a completely separate stream on trading. But I had REITs, which was real estate investing stocks, right? To REITs for like waste management. I think I had waste management. I had Stag. One of those as a REIT. But I had a lot of different things. I had like Oracle in there. I had guests in my long term for a while. I probably had guests for at least like the first 5 years. I just let it go. But that's what they call like diversity, right? You have investments or stocks that are sitting in this one portfolio that are from different sectors and markets, right? So one may be from healthcare, right? Healthcare is like Pfizer. One may be from tech, so like Tesla. One may be from e-commerce, which is probably like the gas, right? So there's different pots where this money will be sitting, but it could possibly all be growing depending upon when you get in versus concentrated, which is like when I say my four now, I do have four. So there's Amazon. Actually, you know what? Let me tell you. What am I for? Because I know I'm missing one. I don't know why it's slipping my head. Because it was Apple. I just got it's called reallocation. I moved some shit around. That's what I did. I moved some stuff around. Oh, that's what it was. It was Microsoft. Okay. So for me, like it's Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, and VO. And what's crazy is I've almost gotten to my equivalent amount from when I started in a diversified portfolio versus a concentrated portfolio. I'm almost sitting at even, and I'm like, well, I had in my diversified portfolio, I probably had like 10, 15 stocks, at least 10 for sure. In my concentrated portfolio, I got like 4, bro. And they growing almost equivalently at the same rate before the market crash, and you had all that upside. Like, and I know I'm saying stuff that some people might be talking over here, but essentially, bro, what I'm saying is, bro, when I'm concentrating, I'm working on one lane, shorty, I got the same amount of money that I had when I was hand in this pot, hand in this pot, hand in this pot. is growing the same way. Hand over fist the same way. So that's why I'm telling you now. Hey, bro. One lane, shorty. One lane. But that's me for today. If you enjoyed the class, right, especially when they go out, hit the comment, hit the follow button, stream button. We're going to keep going. All right, for sure.